Halo guys, balik lagi di channel BadRush. Jadi hari ini mari kita lanjutkan kembali perjalanan kita di Genshin Impact ya. So hari ini setelah kemarin kita menyelesaikan story questnya Yemiko, kita hari ini bakal hangout event lagi ya, oke. Dan hangout event kali ini yaitu adalah si Ningguang, oke, seperti kemarin. Tapi sebelum itu gue mau cerita dulu. Jadi tadi siang, jadi hari-hari sebelumnya pas gua main ya, jadi gua itu lagi mencari ini guys, apa namanya, ngebuka puzzle lah. Jadi ada, bukan quest sih sebenarnya, ya quest juga sih. Jadi kalau kalian tahu apa, nenek Komaki atau mungkin apa yang ngasih makan kucing di pulau Seirai itu ya, kalau nggak salah namanya, yang ada, yang pokoknya yang ada badainya itulah, yang dekat kalian cari ini artefaknya Albudi itu, artefak ini apa, sama yang baru itulah, yang paling baru artefaknya, yang tanah sama air itu loh guys. Nah itu kan quest, bukan quest sebenarnya ya, puzzle lah, puzzle yang dilakukan berulang-ulang gitu loh. Jadi dia nggak masuk world quest, nggak masuk daily, nggak masuk story, nggak masuk arkon loh, you know lah kan, pokoknya achievement lah, oke, achievement. Nah pas ini, jadi gue itu mau membuka apa, achievement yang ada di Grand Narukami Shrine. Grand Narukami Shrine itu ada achievement yang ini guys, yang kalian ini loh, apa, fortune, sleep fortune tuh loh ya. Itu kan ada berapa hari ya, 3 atau 4 hari itu gue lupa. Dan akhirnya gue itu berhasil ngebuka satu world quest yang ada kaitannya sama itu, Sumatsuban Operation. Jadi ini gue dapatkan setelah gue mendapatkan achievement ini guys. Setelah mendapatkan achievement ini, waduh hilang ya. Aduh lupa gue namanya, pokoknya Sumatsuban gitulah namanya, gue lupa. Oke. Nah setelah itu kalian ikutin aja, ntar kalian bakal dapetin word quest ini, oke. Jadi kalau kalian mau ngebuka word quest ini, kalian ikutin aja di Google juga ada, di YouTube ada guide-nya. Jadi intinya kenapa sebelum gue dapetin apa, the very special fortune slip quest ini, nggak gua record, karena gua taunya itu cuma apa ya guys, kayak puzzle loh, kayak kalau kalian kayak nenek Komaki itu loh. Gua kan emang nggak melakukan apa namanya, yang ada di luar ini gitu loh ya. Mungkin pernah ya dulu gua apa, ngebuka apa namanya, puzzle yang ada di mana itu, yang ada di Liwe, yang ke puncak atas itu kan, itu gue juga liatin kan. Cuman kan maksudnya itu masuknya ke explore ya, menurut gue ya itu masuk ke explore, karena dia nggak masuk di world quest ini, nggak masuk di sini atau sini ya kan. Jadi ya sorry banget, gue nggak bisa niatin karena nggak gue request juga pas itu, karena gue taunya oh cuman apa, mecahin puzzle lah, kayak cuma mecahin puzzle, kayak cuma explore lah. Ternyata setelah gue melakukan itu ternyata ada yang hubungannya sama world quest, dan akhirnya kebuka world quest ini. Cuman world quest ini ntar pasti gue mainin seperti biasa. Kalau di world quest selain daily quest ya, story quest, terus arkon quest, sama world quest yang gue record, oke. Jadi ini next aja nanti. Sama sebenarnya gue menemukan, sepertinya ini bakal ngebuka ini lagi, ngebuka world quest lagi, cuman belum gue jalanin, yaitu yang ada di sini guys. Di sini ada rumahnya siapa itu, pokoknya yang minta nakuwit dulu, yang minta nakuwit itu masuk world quest juga kalau nggak salah, dia minta nakuwit. Nah itu kan ada rumahnya, di situ kita naruh nakuwit selama berapa hari gitu di basket depan rumahnya, di keranjang depan rumahnya itu 3 atau 4 hari gua lupa. Ntar tiba-tiba kalian suruh apa, nakuwit kita nggak diambil di hari ke-3 atau 4, kok nggak diambil, padahal biasanya setelah kita naruh, besoknya setelah reset day kita bakal dapat chest lah intinya. Tapi pas hari gue lupa, ketiga atau 4, pas kita naruh, besoknya ternyata belum diambil-ambil. Terus kalau misalnya Paimon bilang, terus penasaran nih orang kemana ya gitu, pokoknya kita cari pakai apa namanya, pakai ini guys, pakai ini loh. Nah pakai ini, nah pakai itu, ikutin baunya atau apa gue lupa, tapi belum gue ikutin karena gue takutnya ntar ada ngaruh sama world questnya. Nah kalau yang satu ini gue kaget, ternyata emang ngaruh sama world questnya. Ya sudah, nggak apa-apa. Jadi ya sudah, intinya ntar gue langsung ini aja ya. Jadi yang sebelumnya, yang untuk dapetin world quest ini, kalian bisa cari di guide, bisa cari di guide atau di YouTube banyak, oke. Terus aja cara dapetin Sumatsuban Operation gitu. Oke, jadi gua sudah dapetin ini. So untuk buat quest nanti mungkin antara gue bakal ngebuka dulu yang ada di sini, atau mungkin gue tunjukin dulu sama kalian. Tapi intinya gue kasih tahu di sekitaran, ini rumahnya ini di sini. Di sini kalian kasih nakuit beberapa hari gitu. Kalau kalian udah nyelesain world questnya orang ini ya. Di sini juga orangnya. Ntar habis itu dia minta nakuit beberapa hari, suruh masukin ke keranjangnya di depan rumahnya. Ntar dia kasih chest tiap hari. Setelah kalian naruh, terus besoknya bakal dikasih chest. Nah tapi lupa gue hari ketiga atau keempat dia nggak ngambil. Nah tapi Paimon curiga orang itu hilang entah kemana. Pokoknya habis itu kita cari. Nah pas itu gue belum cari, jadi kemungkinan ntar besok pas gue explore biasa yang nggak gue record, ya udah gue ikutin sampai nemu world quest ya. Kalau udah nemu world quest, mungkin world quest, kayaknya world quest sih, cuman nggak tahu sih. Sampai nemu world quest. Kalau udah nemu world quest, ya udah besok gue bakal record sekalian sama yang ini, oke, sama yang ini. Nah untuk yang ini gue ceritain sekilas aja ya. Jadi kalian ke Glenarukami Shrine selama beberapa hari. Ntar kalian ke tempatnya Gendo Ringo, gue lupa namanya ceweknya. Pokoknya ke shrine, salah satu shrine maiden yang jaga fortune slip guys. Itu di deket, kalau kalian masuk ini kan pohon, di sebelah kanannya pohon lah intinya, sebelah kanan atau kiri ya, pokoknya di dekat pohonnya itu. Ntar ada namanya Ringo siapa, Gendo Ringo atau siapa. Nah intinya kita ngambil fortune slip, terus kita ngobrol sama dia selama beberapa hari, 3 atau 4 hari gitu. Terus ikutin aja soal apanya, ikutin aja sama fortune slip yang aneh yang dikasihin ke kita. Setiap kita minta fortune slip gitu loh, setiap harinya sekali guys. Jadi kalau kalian salah milih jawaban, kadang nggak dikasih fortune slip yang menunjukkan petunjuk gitu loh. Tapi kalau kalian benar milihnya, dia bakal ngasih petunjuk terus sampai gue lupa hari keempat atau berapa. Terus sampai akhirnya ternyata Gendo Ringo yang kita kasih fortune slip itu, yang selama ini kita mintain fortune slip itu, ternyata katanya Gendo Ringo yang palsu, karena kita terus ketemu Gendo Ringo yang asli gitu. Nah terus setelah itu kebukalah world quest tadi gitu, untuk ngelesain akhirnya bakal gimana gitu loh. Nah iya kan, Gendo Ringo itu cewek, oke. Nah setelah itu beres 4 hari kalau nggak salah, terus habis itu kebuka ini guys. Oke, untuk lebih lengkapnya kalian bisa ikutin guide di Google, banyak di YouTube juga ada. Terus kalau yang soal obat itu, yang soal nakuit itu, ntar deh, mungkin besok gue bakal explore, gue akan ikutin. Dan kalau ternyata world quest, ntar gue bakal record sama bareng yang ini aja, atau atau 3 sekalian gue cari world quest yang lainnya aja sekalian, biar 3. Kalau cuma 2 kan, tapi nggak tahu sih ini lama apa nggak, kayaknya bisa lama sih, cuman kita lihat dulu saja, oke. Tapi yang jelas hari ini kita akan lanjut dulu ya, gua klaim dulu, kita akan lanjut dulu Ningguang ya, oke, untuk hangout event, oke. Yuk mari kita mulai, sudah terlalu banyak bacotnya, let's go. Seperti biasa, yang pertama gue akan ambil acak dulu bebas ya. Yuk langsung cantik. Mana nih? Oke. Seperti biasa Richard Chamber. Ada 5 ending, mudah-mudahan nggak terlalu lama. Tapi ya Yunjin 5 ending lama anjir. Hampir sama kayak Sayu, banyakan ceritanya. Tapi kita lihat, mudah-mudahan Ningguang tidak terlalu lama, karena gue tadi udah bacot lama. Berapa menit tadi gue bacot. Intinya itu guys, gue juga selama ini juga sering ikutin guide, jadi tenang aja. Kalau sulit ikutin guide aja. Oke. Masuk. Wait.
Huh? It looks like all our problems are solved. Welcome to the Jade Chamber.
Oh, great.
Apa ini, minta
I
tolong
have no
apa ini?
idea what we would have done otherwise. I didn't think we'd really manage to get you here. This was a last-minute situation,
And you're the one we trust the most. To put it
What's happened?
simply, we are just looking for the right person to help. We had a very long discussion about it, but to no avail. I have tasked my 3 most trusted secretaries with overseeing an important auction tomorrow. This, however, leaves their regular duties unattended to, and the work cannot afford to go undone. The nature of their day-to-day work is highly sensitive and confidential, so whomever I ask to fill in needs to be someone I can trust, and who doesn't have a conflict of interest. There's no need to be quite so modest. Actually, you were the first person I thought of. I place a great deal of trust in you. And besides, we haven't thought of any other suitable candidates. To me, this work is highly sensitive and of utmost importance, though I'm sure you'll find it to be mundane at best. It would not surprise me if you can't bear the tedium or can't make the time. And yet, despite this, I thought it could do no harm to ask the question, on the off chance that you are interested. As it happens, I was just having a discussion on backup plans with my secretaries before you arrived.
But the outcome of that discussion was that we couldn't think of a suitable alternative.
This is a good reminder that we should always have a contingency plan for everything.
Anyway, this may add to the debt of gratitude I owe you. But the fact is, your arrival here has rescued what was fast becoming a rather dire situation indeed. I wouldn't worry. It's all work you'll be quite familiar with. Planning trips, gathering pertinent information, that sort of thing. All basic skills required by competent adventurers, if I'm not mistaken.
If you have any questions about your work, I will answer them shortly.
Oke,
The
kita bakal
administrative work Lady
bantu-bantu apa
Ningguang
lagi nih?
touched upon just now is only one aspect. You'll also be required to cater for Lady Ningguang's basic daily needs, such as clothing and
Kenapa
meals,
kita
and be on
jadi
call for any other
manajernya?
requests she may have.
None of this is hard work, but there's a lot to do, and it's highly repetitive. Having a dedicated staff member deal with it exclusively means that everyone has clearly delineated duties and can focus on their own work. Simply put, this is about maximizing overall efficiency. All right. Please proceed to the office. Bai Shi will go over the work with you in more detail.
Yes,
Baisha.
Lady Ningguang. Okay, let's go.
Kenapa kita jadi nyiapin baju sama makanan anjir? Tuk, 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 tuk.
Before I get into specifics, I want to start by giving you the big picture. As a member of the Liu Qixing, Lady Ningguang's every move is in the spotlight. Maintaining her perfect
Kayak
image at
artis
all
anjir.
times is absolutely essential. My usual job is to be her right hand, to maintain her image and take care of all her worries. For example, arranging her daily schedule, picking out clothes for her, dressing her, applying her perfume. You misunderstand me. I am simply trying to impress upon you the sheer importance of the work you will be undertaking.
Bai Shi has always been very passionate about her work. I can leave any task in her capable hands, and rest assured that her performance will be nothing short of exemplary. I'm sure she was simply trying to share some of her enthusiasm, in the hopes that you may find it infectious.
Thank you, Lady Ningguang. Back to the topic at hand. Let's get into the details. Bai Xiao and Bai Wen handle tasks that require enormous experience, while I'm mainly responsible for organizing her daily schedule and making sure she is well fed, dressed for any occasion, and that all her needs are met. I can go through the methods I use and give you some pointers based on my experience to ensure that you are fully equipped to perform your duties.
Okay.
All in a day's work for the traveler, Great. Then I'll skip that and just get to the handover of duties. Currently, there are 133 items that have yet to be scheduled, 17 of which are high importance, and...
Tunggu,
Yes,
akeh banget,
I
Cok.
did try to make
banyak
a start
banget,
in
Cok.
advance, but only got as far as roughly
Baca banyak
prioritizing
keluar.
the tasks before I ran out of time. I'll go through the most important items with you in more detail. If there's anything you don't understand, feel free to stop me with questions at any point. First is the periodic meeting with the representatives of the 8 trades.
Eight
After that,
trades.
fielding opinions on revisions to the current tax legislation. Then, a discussion with Lady Kuching on issues relating to time restrictions on land conveyance deals. Following that, there's a Q&A session with all the major commerce guilds. Right after that, there's...
Hold up.
Yes, you do. To the uninitiated,
Anjir,
scheduling
jadi
may sound
manajer
like a
tuh.
simple process of matching tasks to time slots, but there is actually far more to it than that. You need to take travel time into account, along with a whole spectrum of potential issues that can arise. Ample knowledge of all outside factors that may weigh upon your Plan A is essential to devise a workable contingency plan. I assume this is all making sense. Unless you had any other questions at this point? Good. Then let's press on. We're tight on time here, and there's a lot to get through. And we still need to leave enough time for you to prepare Lady Ningguang's schedule. Already? Wow. You're a fast learner. Very good. This will be much more efficient.
Wonderful. Then I'll be counting on you to provide my schedule for tomorrow.
Do
I'm
my
grateful for your
best.
assistance. Now, I will leave you here in peace to proceed with your work. I still have a few items from today's schedules that need addressing. If anything else is unclear, you can ask BadRush.
Take care, Lady Ningguang.
One day off. Simple schedule.
Don't you think that the schedule is a bit of a light load? Yeah, that's true. Lady Ningguang
jadi
has
kita
a
suruh
lot of work to
liburan,
attend to,
anjir.
and frankly, she doesn't have many opportunities to rest. We do sometimes worry about her health, but her attitude is very Mora-driven. If by taking a break there's a chance she'll lose Mora, she'll never agree to it. Huh. I see where you're coming from. Yes, you have a point. All right then, let's go with your plan. I'm sure Lady Ningguang has plenty she wants to talk about with you. There's a lot of things that need doing over at the auction venue, so I will be leaving you now. I hope so too. You must be exhausted. Make sure you get an early night tonight.
Oke, sudah kita bereskan satu masalah. Kita bikin simple schedule. Oke, jam 7 sampai jam 8. Coba kita cek time-nya dulu, guys. Oh, ini gua nggak yakin kalau hari ini deh. Cuman coba dulu. Pencet apa, cu? Bu? Ya, kepencet 24 jam. Ya udah deh, guys. Udah mau ngecek dulu. Tapi nggak apa-apa. Ini pasti udah waktunya, oke? Nah, bangunkan Ningguang.
That stretch feels good.
Oke, ini juga si siapa ya? Fiona juga baru bangun. Flower. Hiker, duh. Oh, di luar. Oh, ini kamarnya. What the
Yes, I'm already awake.
hell? Walah, ini kamarnya.
I'll be out
Cuk.
in a moment. I'm just changing.
Oke. Pakai baju baru kah?
Good morning.
Oh, enggak.
Did you sleep well? There's nothing to worry about. We just need to go through the schedule you made and tick the items off one by one. So, what's item 1 on today's schedule?
Lihat sendiri.
I imagine this must have taken BadRush completely by surprise. Sure, there's no harm in changing my schedule around once in a while. My schedule is usually very tightly packed, and any extra time I can squeeze out is spent on preparing for the future. So, it'll be quite nice to take a break. I don't often feel tired. Seeing the Mora come in has a way of making me feel quite invigorated. Still,
Tapi-
your idea is very sensible.
Pencetak uang
Mora can
terus
only
aja.
lift a weary spirit. It cannot alleviate physical fatigue. So then, the days ahead of us. Any ideas on how to spend it? Something I never have time for. Ah, have you played the chess game I made? Or heard of it, perhaps?
Is it
Yes.
called the millennials?
It's based on classic chess, but with different rules. When I was designing it, I wanted it not only to be a fun game, but
Waduh.
also to
Yeah.
capture Leo's culture in a unique way. So I introduced a lot of concepts that aren't part of traditional chess, as well as different chess pieces and even boards. I'm constantly revising and expanding it. So far, there are over 30 editions. True. That's one reason why it's been difficult to catch on. But I don't feel that making it easier to learn is necessarily a good thing. Isn't one of the joys of playing chess to continually learn and progress through a complex set of rules? I think the key will be to make something that easily catches the attention of people who haven't played much chess before. I'm planning to make a new set with the board and pieces based on the battle for Liyue. One side will play the Guardians of Liyue Harbor. The other side will play the Fatui and Osile. No problem. I will let you try it out as soon as I finish the prototype. I want to make each of the chess pieces of Liyue Millennial as true to life as possible. And no Guardians of Liyue chess set would be complete without you, would it? I am indeed. Many of them, in fact. My thinking was that only
Oke, ada
people who
inspirasi
pre-order
dari
the
kita
chess set
ini,
at full
role-nya.
price will be eligible to
Role
receive the limited
caturnya.
edition Traveler chess piece. It seems only
Limited
fitting for
edition.
someone of your status. Naturally, since you are the face of that historic event. I intend to make chess
Dijadiin
pieces for
marketing
everyone who was
kita.
involved that day, including myself.
Diana
Everyone who
juga,
owns
anjir.
this chess set will preserve this moment in history in a vivid and compelling form. Then it's decided. Come with me. To make this chess piece, I need to take some measurements.
Oke. Kemana nih, Ich? Oh, ke atas ya. Oh, keluar nih kayaknya. Kamarnya di situ, guys. Kamarnya Ningguang, kayak. Gede kali pintunya. Sama pintu ini gedean pintu kamarnya, anjir. Kemana nih, Ich? Oh, ke Liu ya. Let's go. Dong teng dong teng dong dong. A disorder. Oke. Wait.
Oh, Lady Ningguang and the Traveler.
You already know each other?
Oh, I think it goes a little deeper than that. I don't teach my hard-earned skills to just anyone, you know. There's a word for people like you, who are warm one minute and cold the next. Fickle.
You seem to be in a good mood today.
As ever, there's nothing special about today, but seeing you two has definitely perked me up. All jokes aside, how can I be of service today?
Remember the custom chess pieces I told you about? I'd like you to take her measurements today.
Whatever business I'm in, I am first and foremost a woman of many talents. Don't you remember when I taught you how to make perfume? There was no porcelain involved in that. As it happens, I am a skilled tailor as well. What can I say? I'm in the prime of my youth and I love all beautiful things. Is that so strange?
Yingar is every bit as proficient as any of the top tailors in the land. I've availed myself of her services many times before.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just realizing that the Traveler only thinks I'm good at one thing. I see how it is. In which case, you'll find all the tools you could need in the room. Please, help yourselves. I'll stay outside and mind my own porcelain business, as you quite rightly suggested.
Huh? What are you expecting me to do here?
Oh, I think the Traveler is the one you should be asking about that. I'm kidding. It's hard not to tease when you're both so well matched. Come on then, step inside and
kita jadi
I'll
cowok,
examine
anjir.
your body from tip to toe.
Oke. Diukur kita.
If I hear any strange new rumors after this, you will be my #1 suspect.
Jodoh-jodohin sama
Rumors
Ningguang,
about the
anjir.
Traveler or the chess piece?
Either. Both are confidential.
Don't worry, I know where the line is. I'd never take a joke too far. Secrets are only fun when they're kept secret.
Just enough with the ambiguous phrasing, okay? You'll give people the wrong idea.
Anggaplah kita cowok lah, guys. Oke.
Forget it. Let's just go.
Seperti biasa.
You're always welcome.
Kalau tidak terlalu
at Scent
cocok,
of
ya kita cowok,
Spring.
kita cowok.
Come again, anytime.
Oke. Kita lanjut.
I slightly regret bringing you here. It doesn't bother me. I just hope she didn't make you feel too awkward. Now that your measurements are taken, let's go to Mingxing Jewelry and put an order in.
La 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 la. Berhentinya kok nggak kayak tadi?
Hello, Lady Ningguang. What can I do for you today?
That chess piece I told you about? We can start work now. I have the traveler's measurements here.
Okay, let me just double check. Looks good. This has all the measurements we need. I'll pass them on to the craftsman shortly.
Good. And as agreed, please use top-grade materials only.
Of course, we are professionals, and we will do everything we can to deliver the high standard you expect. Although, speaking to you as a friend, I have to tell you that the sale price you indicated won't even cover the cost of production. I don't mean just the material costs either. Waiting around for top-quality materials drags out the production time and also reduces the total quantity we can produce.
That's okay. This one is not for profit. With every previous set, there's always been some degree of commercial or marketing considerations to bear in mind. But this one serves more of a commemorative purpose. To that point, as you know, the prototype of the Jade Chamber chess piece has been in the works for a long time, but I haven't once followed up on the progress. Yes, and just like your piece, the Jade Chamber piece will be scaled for the game.
Yes, it's a challenging project, but also, not for profit is really not something I ever expected from Lady Ningguang. How do I put it? It just seems out of character.
In business, everything comes down to profits versus losses. You have to keep a cool head and make rational judgments. In other words, you must be shrewd. But shrewdness is easily perceived as cynicism in the eyes of others. People come to think of you as someone who cares only about money and not people. Hardly the worst thing in the world, of course. But it has caused obstacles for me in the past.
Oh.
Well, for example, I once had a case where someone backed out of a deal with me to sell to someone else. We were both offering the exact same terms. It was simply because they didn't like me very much. Another case is where I offered distinctly more competitive terms in an investment, and this ended up arousing their suspicion. That Ningguang, they thought. She must be up to something. We can't let her get away with it.
I see.
But these problems disappeared all but completely after the battle against Osile. Why? Because the whole of Liyue witnessed me destroying my Jade Chamber. At least, that's the most reasonable explanation I could think of.
Oh, I get it. You're saying that back when you sacrificed the Jade Chamber, you gained everyone's respect in return. You're not seeking to make a profit from these chess pieces because what you're commemorating is your personal contribution to Liyue Harbor. It was the deal of the century. And as long as you keep capitalizing on it, business will be plain sailing for you in the future.
Yes, exactly. Very to the point.
Truly a brilliant strategy, Lady Ningguang. You really are a business mastermind. Now I understand why this set needs to be so perfect and why it's okay that it doesn't turn a profit.
It will be a lot of work, and I'm most grateful to you. Make sure the Traveler's piece is exactly how she wants it. We can't go letting her down.
Don't you worry. We'll put our all into it.
Well, that's that then. Let's head back to the Jade Chamber. There's something I want to discuss with you.
Oke, balik ke atas. You a millennial.
I'm here.
I have a question for you, and I'd like to hear your honest opinion. And I, in turn, will tell you how I really think. When we were at Mingxing Jewelry, I admitted that my decision to sacrifice the Jade Chamber was a calculated one. I had already considered what I stood to lose and to gain. When you heard that, did it make you think that maybe I really was a cynical profit chaser after all? Yes, well, at the time, it seemed to me that sacrificing the Jade Chamber was the inevitable decision. All that talk about making up for my losses was really just to console myself. I was lying to Xingxi. My decision to destroy the Jade Chamber was nowhere near as thought through as I made it out to be. I just thought we should do what needed to be done, and this was a decision that only I could make. Afterwards, I consoled myself by reasoning that all my wealth comes from Leo Harbor. So, to lose Leo Harbor is to lose everything. In that sense, giving up the Jade Chamber would be a profitable investment in the long term. But it just didn't work. I was grief-stricken. Like a huge part of my heart was suddenly missing. Because I had just severed ties with a lifelong companion. I stared out at the sea for goodness knows how long. I just couldn't let it go. I just couldn't. There was no way I could console myself. So why bother trying? But as time went by, I received so many thank you gifts and letters from people. Everyone was describing how they now saw me in a new light, how I'd become an inspiration to them. I gave up the Jade Chamber without a moment's hesitation, and I did it for the sake of Leo Harbor. And now, people are inspired to follow my example, to tackle their life challenges with the same unswerving determination. All of this was so encouraging to hear. It made me feel that my dear old companion's sacrifice was not in vain. Because to most people, the idea that Lady Ningguang is someone who battles with grief and struggles to let go of the past is probably the furthest thing from the truth that they could imagine. This is one aspect of the truth that I can share only with you. The fact that I can't always be as strong as everyone thinks I am.
You've done
Thank
so
you
well.
for your comforting words. It feels good even just to be able to talk about it. I'm sorry that you have to see me in this state, but look where I am now, standing on the deck of the Jade Chamber once more, taking in the view. It must be fate's reward to me, and if I end up having to do it all over again in the future, I will not hesitate to make the same decision again.
Kalau bakal terjadi kayak, oh sudah beres cuma gitu doang kayaknya. Oh ala unchanging will through countless melancholy moments. The clouds are now at last clear. Gazing ahead, she will surely make the right decision. Oke guys, jadi itu ending pertama dari Ningguang ya. Jadi ya sedih sebenarnya. Jadi nggak semua yang ada di pikirannya Ningguang tuh apa tentang hitung-hitungan doang, untung rugi doang, enggak. Dia sebenarnya juga sedih pas Jade Chamber pertama kali harus hancur gitu loh. Terus tapi kalau tiba-tiba ada kejadian itu lagi, sekarang dia tidak akan menyesali apa keputusan itu, dia bakal ngelakuin hal yang sama lagi, ya udah tinggal dibangun lagi gitu loh. Oke. Ya, setahu gua kayak gitu tadi omongannya. So, yuk lanjut lagi, kita cari ending yang kedua ya. Gua lihat dulu guide-nya, kita lihat scheduling the day, bawah atas. Oke, situ ada, sudah dapat. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Jadi kayaknya yang atas ada 2. So, kita akan mulai dari atas dulu ya, dari scheduling the day. Kita cek dulu yang scheduling the day ya. Tapi kita mulai dulu. Oke, let's go. Mumpung pas sudah di sini. Scheduling the day. Aha, ini dia guys. Let's go. Kita masuk lagi. Berhentinya aneh, kadang. Oke. Let's go. Aduh, kok nggak mau naik? Aduh, nggak nyampe dong. Mana ini? Oke.
Before I get into specifics, I want to start by giving you the big picture. As a member of the Liyue Qixing, Lady Ningguang's every move is in the spotlight. Maintaining her perfect image at all times is absolutely essential. My usual job is to be her right hand, to maintain her image and take care of all her worries. For example, arranging her daily schedule, picking out clothes for her, dressing her, applying her perfume.
Kita pilih yang atas guys. Ada pilihannya sih pas ini.
You misunderstand me.
Jadi
I'm
bebas
simply
kayaknya.
trying to impress upon you the sheer
Tapi kita pilih yang
importance of
kayak
the
tadi
work
aja,
you
oke?
will be undertaking.
Baisha has always been very passionate about her work. I can leave any task in her capable hands and rest assured that her performance will be nothing short of exemplary. I'm sure she was simply trying to share some of her enthusiasm, in the hopes that you may find it infectious.
Thank you, Lady Ningguang. Back to the topic at hand. Let's get into the details. Bai Xiao and Bai Wen handle tasks that require enormous experience, while I'm mainly responsible for organizing her daily schedule and making sure she is well fed, dressed for any occasion, and that all her needs are met. I can go through the methods I use and give you some pointers based on my
Okay.
experience to ensure that you are fully equipped to perform your duties.
Oke.
All in a
Ada
day's work
satu
for the
ini.
traveler, Great. Then I'll skip that and just get to the handover of duties. Currently, there are 133 items that have yet to be scheduled, 17 of which are high importance, and... Yes, I did try to make a start in advance, but only got as far as roughly prioritizing the tasks before I ran out of time. I'll go through the most important items with you in more detail. If there's anything you don't understand, feel free to stop me with questions at any point. First is the periodic meeting with the representatives of the 8 trades. After that, fielding opinions on revisions to the current tax legislation. Then, a discussion with Lady Kuching on issues relating to time restrictions on land conveyance deals. Following that, there's a Q&A session with all the major commerce guilds. Right after that, there's...
Oke.
Yes, you do.
Cuma ada
To
satu
the
pilihan.
uninitiated, scheduling may sound like a simple process of matching tasks to time slots, but there is actually far more to it than that. You need to take travel time into account, along with a whole spectrum of potential issues that can arise. Ample knowledge of all outside factors that may weigh upon your Plan A is essential to devise a workable contingency plan. I assume this is all making sense.
Oke, di
Unless
sini
you had any
kita
other
pilih
questions at
yang
this point?
kanan atas. Oke, nothing. No, I think I'm good. Oke.
Good. Then let's press on. We're tight on time here, and there's a lot
Di
to get
sini
through.
kita pilih yang
And we
bawah.
still need to leave
Oke.
enough time for you to prepare Lady Ningguang's schedule. Already? Wow. You're a fast learner. Very good. This will be much more efficient.
Wonderful. Then I'll be counting on you to provide my schedule for tomorrow.
I'll do
I'm
my
grateful
best.
for your assistance. Now, I will leave you here in peace to proceed with your work. I still have a few items from today's schedules that need addressing. If anything else is unclear, you can ask Baisha.
Take care, Lady
Baisha.
Ningguang.
Oke, di sini kita pilih yang atas ya. It, what's up, gents? Get ready to go out, meet businesswoman. Bla 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 bla. Udah kita bikin schedule-nya.
Good. You factored in both priority and efficiency, and produced a rigorous and well-structured schedule. You've clearly considered it from every angle. Excellent work. You've got quite a knack for this.
Kita pilih yang atas.
Please be here at the Jade Chamber tomorrow morning before Lady Ningguang wakes up and start preparing based on the schedule. With you helping out here, we will be able to focus fully on the auction. It will be quite a complicated affair. I hope so too. You must be exhausted. Make sure you get an early night tonight.
Oke. Terus gimana ini? Kita tunggu jam. Oke, jam 7. Kita coba cek lagi guys, ini jam berapa? Jam 3. Langsung. Coba kita cek apakah jam 7 akan pengaruh. Oke, tetap berarti besok ya. Oke. Oke, confirm. Jepring. Oke, kita bangunkan. Mana kamarnya? Oh, ini dia.
Yes, I'm already awake.
Oke.
I'll be out in a moment. I'm just changing.
Oke,
Good morning. Did you sleep well?
kita pilih yang kiri ya. I was so excited. I
Oh,
couldn't sleep.
how strange. Me too. I'm joking, of course. I slept like a baby. Sorry to disappoint you. Now then, the schedule. Let's see what you have for me today. Item 1. Lunch at Lioli Pavilion with Miss Lua Chiao. Ah, yes. I remember the invitation. I need to make sure I'm well prepared for this.
Apakah dia
No,
temanmu?
someone I've never met before.
Oh, bukan temannya.
Today's
anjir.
lunch will be our first time meeting each other.
Apa yang akan kamu siapin?
She's
Cuma
paying a
makan
high
siang.
price for my time,
Oke.
and I intend to make sure she gets her money's worth. Otherwise,
dibayar, anjir.
tens of
Cuma mau
millions of
ketemu.
mora is rather a high price for a lunch, even one at Lioli Pavilion. Wouldn't you say?
What the
That's
hell?
right. Even at this price,
Padahal
there
bukan
is no
artis
shortage
tuh,
of people
anjir.
willing to pay for a
Diajak
lunch
makan siang
opportunity
10
with me.
juta murah.
To be clear,
What
I've never
the
had
hell?
any hand
Dia
in setting
itu
the
apa,
price.
anjir?
I too
Ya,
was
dia
rather
pengusaha,
surprised
ya,
to see it
presiden.
become so expensive.
Tapi
Time is very
kenapa
valuable to
dibayar
me.
10 juta,
So when I
Cuk?
first came up with the idea, I made a rule that my time would go to the highest bidder. Gradually, it developed into a
Dia
lucrative
presiden loh,
business.
ya, anggaplah presiden. It's
Yes,
like an
that sums
investment.
it up very well. Most people looking to buy my time are business people who believe that whatever they spend now, they will make back several times over in due course. Naturally, for anyone looking to make a profit in a complex market, the bottom line is having the requisite experience and expertise. All I can do for them is share whatever insight I may have.
Oke.
As for how much my insight is worth in terms of mora,
Oh, cuma minta
everyone has their
insight-nya
own
dia loh
idea.
guys, 10 juta.
there is no standardized way to
Mora.
measure something like this. You're a very lucky
Gua aja belum
person, you
nyampe
know.
nyentuh
You get to
paling
sit
tinggi
in
gua
on this
4
lunch for
juta.
free.
Murah.
In the
Itu pun
hands
udah
of a
habis buat
professional
ini.
business person,
Buat
the kind of
talent.
information you'll be exposed
Oke.
to will be worth,
Di sini kita
well,
pilih yang
tens of millions
bawah
of
ya.
mora.
Yang bawah. Oke.
There's no need to be nervous, of course. Now, let's have some
Sarapan dulu
breakfast
sebelum
before
makan
we
siang.
leave.
Oke.
I'm here.
Gimana sarapannya? Oh, di situ. Sarapan dulu, guys.
Did you organize this entire
Di
breakfast?
sini kita pilih atas, oke?
I know what's going on then. Please, sit. Have a taste of the Jade Chambers chef's cooking. This kind of food tastes far less satisfying if left out for too long.
Thank you. Oke, sarapan dulu sebelum makan siang. Ya bener
What do
sih.
you think? Is the food to your liking?
Oke.
Don't forget we have a lunch later. Save some space, or you might miss out on some even better food. Still, I'm happy to see that you approve of my culinary tastes. On occasion. Usually everyone is too busy for a leisurely sit-down meal. There is an awful lot to get done most of the time. Breakfast also isn't usually so lavish, hence my surprise when we got here. I actually thought you had cooked it all yourself.
Oke, kita pilih yang bawah ya.
Relax, I'm just joking. Baishar probably made arrangements yesterday to add a few extra dishes to the breakfast menu. You willingly took this work on, knowing that it would be tedious, and you have worked diligently. My secretaries and I are very grateful to you. Treating you to some food is but a small token of our
Kita pilih yang
appreciation.
atas. Oke.
Breakfast sets the tone for the rest of the day. You can't compromise on it. If you wake up to the same monotonous meal each day, you will start to feel fatigued even before you start working.
Alright, sekarang kita kemana nih? Oh, belum.
Well, I'm done eating. We should get ready, then head off to Lioli Pavilion. I have some preparations to make first. Could you bring my clothes to my room, please? I need a change of mood,
Oke, dia
and a
ganti
change
baju
of
ya.
clothes will facilitate that.
Tapi emang
Who
Ningguang
knows?
muncul
Perhaps you will have a
Event-nya setelah
completely
ini,
different
guys.
impression of
Setelah
me
Lantern
after
Ride
I change
kemarin.
outfits. I already instructed Longyang to have my
Oh iya,
outfit
BTW
ready.
kayaknya
You
catching
can fetch it from her.
belum
Thank
dapat
you.
story quest ya. Kayaknya
I'll be
belum.
in my room.
Oke, kita bawain baju ganti. Mbak, bajunya mana?
Hello, how may I help? Ah, yes, of course. Please wait a moment. I'll go and get them. Here you are. Please give this to Lady Ningguang. Yes, this whole room is full of Lady Ningguang's
Oh.
personal items.
Ini
Not just
ruangan
clothes either.
pribadi
There are all
juga.
kinds of jewelry and ornaments. Lady Ningguang asked us to rearrange this room recently. We're currently right in the middle of that, so everything's in a bit of a mess. That's why it took me a little time to find this for you.
Oke, ini bebas ya, jadi nggak ngaruh kok, oke?
Anyway, you can take it now. Thanks for coming to pick it up.
Oke, thank you.
Did you get it?
Ningguang ternyata adalah pintu guys selama ini.
Ah, this is the one. Please, wait for a moment. I believe you've seen this outfit before. It's one of my favorites. I don't think
Dan
I
sudah
asked you what
diperbaiki
you
ya
thought of it at
sama
the time,
Mihoyo.
though.
Belakangnya
What do you
ada
think?
garisnya lagi
Be
sekarang.
honest.
Sekarang pilih yang atas, oke?
Phew. Thank you.
Kemarin
I was
kan
actually a
disensor
little
aja, jadi
nervous.
garis punggungnya nggak ada.
Knowing
Sekarang
that
udah
it
ada
has
lagi
your
guys.
seal of approval makes me feel much more self-confident.
Kita pilih yang bawah.
Oh, then it's mere flattery. You pick your moments to wisecrack, don't you? Now I don't know whether to take what you said earlier seriously. I never knew you had such a mischievous side. All right, let's head to Liuli Pavilion.
Oke, kita ke Liuli Pavilion. For the banquet. Mana sih pintunya? Oh sih. Bukan Cuk. Anjir, pintunya banyak banget. Oke. Kemana nih? Liu Pavilion. Oke. Business as usual. Okay.
Lady Ningguang.
Sorry to have kept you waiting.
No, not at all.
Really?
I know that you have 1,000 different things to do each day. I'm very grateful for any amount of time you can spare for me.
Great. Well, let's leave the formalities aside from now on and make this just a friendly chat. This is the Traveler. I'm assuming you've heard of her. She happened to be in Liyue Harbor today, so I invited her to come along. It's a rare opportunity to dine with her, too. Do you mind if she sits with us?
No, not at all. On the contrary, I'm honored. What a surprise to be dining with the illustrious Traveler, too. I've always been fascinated by you and your adventures. There's so many questions I'd love to ask you. Oh, I'm sorry. Where are my manners? I forgot to introduce myself. Look at me, getting all overexcited. I'm Luo Qiao, a businesswoman. I work mostly in the textile business, but recently I've been considering branching out into some other markets. That's what I wanted to ask Lady Ningguang for some advice about. I didn't know there'd be a surprise guest involved, too. So, the rumors are true, then?
Rumors? About what exactly?
You know, the rumors about the two of you.
Apa
Ningguang
ini?
and
Hey.
the Traveler having a
Closer than ever
closer than
relationship.
average relationship. You haven't heard?
Kita pilih yang bawah ya.
Come on. You must know that Lady Ningguang's every
Anjir.
move is in the spotlight.
Berharap jadi
That
cowok
obviously
kalau pas kayak
includes her
gini.
relationships.
Alah.
And if you didn't have some sort of special relationship,
Oke, kita
why
pilih
would
yang
she
atas ya
invite you
ini.
to this lunch right after finding out that you were back in Liyue Harbor?
Actually,
Interesting. Yes, we do have a special relationship, but I don't see anything unusual about it. The Traveler is a national hero in Liyue whose actions have directly contributed toward the prosperity we enjoy today. Even putting aside my official status as one of the Liyue Qixing, I admire her on a personal level, too.
Oh, yes. Well, there is nothing unusual about it at all.
I was just observing that Lady Ningguang now seems to have a second interesting character in her innermost circle. The first one being the captain.
Oh, yang
You're
pertama Kapten
comparing
Beidou.
apples and sunsettias there. Whenever Beidou returns to Liyue Harbor, all she brings me is a headache. I've missed out on a number of extremely promising
Beidou juga
investment
cewek juga ya.
opportunities
Cuman
thanks to
berharap jadi
her.
cowok aja kalau pas kayak
In
gini aja.
fact, the timing is always so suspiciously coincidental. I can't help but wonder if she's doing it on purpose.
Investment opportunities? Oh, do you mean the luminescent spine business? I hear that's been all the rage recently.
No, something else. All the talk about luminescent spines is just empty hype.
Oh, but isn't there some new technology from Fontaine that needs lots of luminescent spines to make it work?
If it were really that profitable, those in the know would have kept it as quiet as possible. You have to wonder, if the news is spreading like wildfire, who's fanning the flames? I had my secretary do some analysis. The current price of luminescent spines far exceeds the profits that could be made on the end product. So I would advise you to be cautious.
I see. Well, I was planning to get your opinion on how to get started in that business.
In my opinion, there are many people around with ulterior motives, making this a very risky business to enter into in the short term. Long term, it's very difficult to say. But I believe there's too much uncertainty to make it worth your investment. You worked hard to earn every mora you own, and you should be just as careful spending it as you were making it.
You think so too, huh? Okay, got it. If that's what
Hati-hati,
both of you
ntar
think,
nah
I'll take my time and not rush
invest
into
bodong
anything.
ntar.
Maybe it'd be a
Pelajari
better choice
dulu.
to invest this money into an industry that I'm genuinely interested in getting involved with.
Oke. Ngobrol
Lady
sembari
Ningguang,
makan.
thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me today. I didn't know how much we'd get through, but you've answered every question I wanted to ask.
Good. I'm glad I could be of some help.
Now I see why you were able to become the most successful business person in Liyue Harbor. You think clearly, you are very knowledgeable, and you keep yourself well informed. It would take me a very long time to come anywhere close to your level.
You've been listening for a while. Are you getting bored? Has it sparked an interest in
Oke,
the
di
business world for
sini
you?
kita pilih yang atas, oke?
So you want to be my competitor? Well then, I suppose I'll have to start looking over my shoulder. Or how about this? I'll invest in you early on, before you make it big.
I won't take up any more of your time. Thank you. This lunch was everything I was hoping for and more. I can't wait to try out everything I've learned.
See you next time. I'll look forward to hearing good news from you soon.
Oke, sudah beres. Ganti acara lagi, guys.
Right then. Lunch is over. I assume you have something planned next? Although, I'm a little concerned about the auction. I wonder how my secretarial trio is getting along.
Kita pilih di sini yang bawah, oke?
Good. Then let's do that. There are some slippery characters among the bidders, you see. So, even though my secretaries are very capable and experienced, I still can't help worrying for them a little. Come on. The auction is being held at Eugene Terrace.
Oke. Keluar. Kemana Nits? Oh, ke atas ya. Oh, di sana anjir. La 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 la. Mana nih? Oh, ini dia. Udah lelang, guys. Ayo Mbak, mulai.
Lady Ningguang, what brings you here?
I couldn't help but feel a little concerned. So I just came to see how everything is going.
We're about ready, and people are starting to arrive. I think we should be able to start on time.
Very good. I think I'll host the auction myself.
Huh? You want to do it yourself?
Yes. Just in case anything untoward happens. I can take care of it myself.
Then we'll leave the auction itself to you. But we'll be sure to lend our full support behind the scenes.
Have you attended an auction before?
Kita pilih yang atas ya.
Well, would you like to participate this time? You don't have to bid, of course. Just experience the atmosphere. All right then. Feel free to take a look around the venue before it kicks off. Check out the items up for bidding and see if there's anything you might be interested in.
Oke. Kita cek dulu barang-barangnya. Ini yang dijual. Ada vas, ada tempat pena segala macam. Oke, dimulai jam 4 cenah. Oke, kita ubah dulu jamnya. Sekarang masih jam 11. Jam 4 ya, guys. Oke, let's go. Anjir, auctionnya sore, ngeceknya jam 12 malam. Oke, kita mulai.
It's about time to start. Find yourself somewhere to sit and we'll kick things off. Yes? What is it? That's for you to make a considered judgment on. It's precisely what makes auctions so interesting, don't you think? Until the bids exceed the value of the item you're after, you can keep raising the price. If the bids go beyond what you can accept, then you let someone else take it. Perhaps this does not result in what you might call a fair price, but what it does do is identify the person who values the item the most. Yes, you should look forward to it.
Kita lihat gimana lelangnya, guys.
The first lot is a teacup from my personal collection. Bids starting at 10,000 mora. That's 10,000 mora for the teacup.
20,000!
Oke.
30,000! 50,000.
Di sini before we start oh the bidding. Wih, kok beda ya, guys ya? Jadi nggak bener ding, sorry yang atas.
80,000! 80,000 over here!
I'll raise that to 100,000!
120.
Kita pilih yang bawah, oke?
I swear, some of these bidders are just driving the price up for fun. All right, 150,000. Anyone else want to keep going now?
150 once?
170? 180,000.
180 once? 180 twice? 180. Sold!
Yeah, it's mine now.
I can believe.
Okay then. Moving straight on to the next lot.
Okay, next.
You seem to be getting quite into it. What a shame that you didn't manage to go home with anything.
Okay.
Of course it did. That's because I didn't come here to sell my things. I'm sure you must find it quite odd that all these everyday items could fetch such a huge price at auction. Since you're curious, why not go and talk to the buyers? I'm sure they'll give you the answers you're looking for.
Oke, gila 180.000 mora untuk cangkirnya siapa? Cangkirnya Ningguang, bekas
Today
Ningguang.
wasn't my day. Didn't manage to snag much. There were too many bidders, and they all seemed like experts to me. I guess I'll just have to wait for the next auction. Someday, I'll be the lucky one.
Oke.
I may have paid an arm and a leg for this, but in the end, I got the result I wanted. Nothing of Ningguang's could ever be overinflated. I'm far from the only buyer who believes that owned by Ningguang is worth paying a premium for. So how much I make just depends on how many people are even bigger fans of Ningguang than I am.
Oke.
Huh? You want to know why I paid so much? Well, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? Because the previous owner was Lady Ningguang. Sure, the item may look pretty ordinary, but that's probably just because I'm not a connoisseur, so I don't know how to appreciate it. But I figured I'd buy it first, then go get it appraised by an expert. Then I'll be rich.
Oh, dia jual lagi anjir. Oke. Beres.
Well, did you find the answer yet? That's certainly part of it. But every bidder will have noticed that none of these items have a particularly high going rate on the market in and of themselves. Despite this, they were all willing to pay very dearly for them. I wonder, is faith in me really the only factor in their appraisal of the item's value? You'll see shortly. The one who spent the most money will surely be the quickest to realize. If all I wanted to do was make some quick mora by exploiting their blind faith in me, I have a million more effective ways of achieving that than hosting an auction. Every participant in this auction was handpicked by me, based on certain intelligence.
Lady Ningguang, something doesn't seem quite right with the items from today's auction. As unlikely as this sounds, and please forgive me for even bringing it up, but I had to ask. You weren't selling counterfeits today, were you?
Counterfeits? Absolutely not. What motive would anyone have for making copies of things like these? They are simply ordinary items, and there was no coercion or enticement during the auction. Every bid was voluntary.
Because we trusted you! Everyone knows that you love Mora, but we also know that you made your fortune through honest means, as opposed to scamming people.
You seem to have entered into dangerous linguistic territory there. You should know that unless you have evidence to support your outlandish claims, I am legally entitled to sue you for slander. Of course, if you have any genuine grievances about the auction, the lots, or the process, please enlighten me as to where exactly I went wrong.
You... Fine. Yes, technically it was all legitimate. Guess all I can do is take the loss. If word gets out about today's auction, people are gonna start seeing you as a con artist. No one would dare do business with you after that. I guess what I'm saying is this really in your best interests?
Let me answer that with a question.
Padahal mereka semua juga
You
orang-orang
claim
yang
that you
mau
were
beli
willing to
gitu.
pay a high price
Bukan
because
orang
you
yang disuruh
trusted me.
buat naikin harga
But
anjir.
is that really the full story?
What do you mean? What else could it be?
Oh, I don't know. Perhaps it could be something to do with a lost item from the original Jade Chamber collection that has quietly made its way into your hands. When the Jade Chamber fell, countless valuable items from my collection plunged into the sea. I organized a salvage operation, but still there were many items unaccounted for. A considerable number of these made their way back into Liyue Harbor through means unbeknownst to me, and passed through several pairs of hands before finally ending up in yours, and those of your fellow bidders today.
Wait, you mean...
Yes. Everyone attending the auction today is in possession of lost property belonging to me. Or, to put it another way, they were all people who have had a taste of something that was mine and convinced themselves that I am someone to be taken advantage of. So I ask you again, your high bidding price, was it motivated by trust, or was it greed? The sole reason I held this auction is to reclaim my treasured possessions. If you are willing to return what is mine, I will refund all the money you spent in the auction today.
All right, fine. I guess I'll return it. You drive a hard bargain like everyone says. I'll go and get it right now. Please just wait here.
Despite his bad attitude, he cooperated in the end. Good for him. The issue was that all items of mine that have been fished out of the sea have changed hands numerous times already. Determining who has legal ownership would be an extremely long-winded process, with each item being assessed on a case-by-case basis. Even Yenfei says she'd have a difficult time defending my claims.
Yes,
I could have bought them back, but it's not in my nature to pay twice for the same thing. Least of all, when they'd be looking to make a handsome profit from my misfortune. After making some inquiries, I found them to be most uncooperative. So I had to resort to this auction to finally put a stop to all this nonsense.
Kita pilih yang atas.
I just wanted my things back. Hardly an unusual sentiment. At most, a little childish perhaps. Which is another reason why I didn't tell anybody about my plan. What do you think it was about the Jade Chamber that defeated Osayo?
The explosion?
Well, I think it was a combination of the weight and the energy it contains. Its great weight meant that it hit Osayo with incredible force, while the energy within triggered that spectacular explosion. Every piece of the Jade Chamber, from the stone walls and wooden beams down to the smallest ornament, contributed to its total weight. But in the end, they became objects of merchants' greed. It's hard not to get a little irked thinking about it.
Kita pilih yang bawah ya.
Thank you for understanding. Now I've got one of my items back. Let me show you what makes it so special. The secrets of history shine through in the relics that survive. And this one now has the story of another age to tell.
Oke, sudah dapat. Ending kedua, the wake of a collection. None of the items that were offered up during that decisive battle shall be lost, no matter how small. Oke, kita sudah dapat ending keduanya. Yuk lanjut lagi, ending ketiganya kita cari. Demands. Oke, sudah atas, bawah, beres, tinggal oke di sini ya. So kita pilih yang di sini, the Grand Banquet. Oke, let's go. Kita ke Liu. Oke. Makan siangnya udah malam anjir. Oke.
Lady Ningguang.
Sorry to have kept you waiting.
No, not at all. I know that you have 1,000 different things to do each day. I'm very grateful for any amount of time you can spare for me.
Great. Well, let's leave the formalities aside from now on and make this just a friendly chat. This is the Traveler. I'm assuming you've heard of her. She happened to be in Liyue Harbor today, so I invited her to come along. It's a rare opportunity to dine with her, too. Do you mind if she sits with us?
No, not at all. On the contrary, I'm honored. What a surprise to be dining with the illustrious Traveler, too. I've always been fascinated by you and your adventures. There's so many questions I'd love to ask you. Oh, I'm sorry. Where are my manners? I forgot to introduce myself. Look at me, getting all overexcited. I'm Luo Qiao, a businesswoman. I work mostly in the textile business, but recently I've been considering branching out into some other markets. That's what I wanted to ask Lady Ningguang for some advice about. I didn't know there'd be a surprise guest involved, too. So, the rumors are true, then?
Rumors? About what exactly?
You know, the rumors about the two of you.
Yang tadi sih.
Ningguang and the Traveler having a closer than average relationship. You haven't heard?
Kita pilih yang atas kali ini.
Come on. You must know that Lady Ningguang's every move is in the spotlight. That obviously includes her relationships. And if you didn't have some sort of special relationship, why would she invite you to this lunch right after finding out that you were back in Liyue Harbor?
Interesting. Yes, we do have a special relationship, but I don't see anything unusual about it. The Traveler is a national hero in Liyue whose actions have directly contributed toward the prosperity we enjoy today. Even putting aside my official status as one of the Liyue Qixing, I admire her on a personal level too.
Oh, yes. Oh, there is nothing unusual about it at all. I was just observing that Lady Ningguang now seems to have a second interesting character in her innermost circle. The first one being the captain.
You're comparing apples and sunsettias there. Whenever Beidou returns to Liyue Harbor, all she brings me is a headache. I've missed out on a number of extremely promising investment opportunities thanks to her. In fact, the timing is always so suspiciously coincidental. I can't help but wonder if she's doing it on purpose.
Investment opportunities? Oh, do you mean the luminescent spine business? I hear that's been all the rage recently.
No, something else. All the talk about luminescent spines is just empty hype.
Oh, but isn't there some new technology from Fontaine that needs lots of luminescent spines to make it work?
If it were really that profitable, those in the know would have kept it as quiet as possible. You have to wonder, if the news is spreading like wildfire, who's fanning the flames? I had my secretary do some analysis. The current price of luminescent spines far exceeds the profits that could be made on the end product. So I would advise you to be cautious.
I see. Well, I was planning to get your opinion on how to get started in that business.
In my opinion, there are many people around with ulterior motives, making this a very risky business to enter into in the short term. Long term, it's very difficult to say, but I believe there's too much uncertainty to make it worth your investment. You worked hard to earn every mora you own, and you should be just as careful spending it as you were making it.
You think so too, huh? Okay, got it. If that's what both of you think, I'll take my time and not rush into anything. Maybe it'd be a better choice to invest this money into an industry that I'm genuinely interested in getting involved with. Lady Ningguang, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me today. I didn't know how much we'd get through, but you've answered every question I wanted to ask.
Good. I'm glad I could be of some help.
Now I see why you were able to become the most successful business person in Liyue Harbor. You think clearly, you are very knowledgeable, and you keep yourself well informed. It would take me a very long time to come anywhere close to your level.
You've been listening for a while. Are you getting bored? Has it sparked an interest in the business world
yang
for you?
bawah, okay?
That means you also have a good head on your shoulders, and the ability to learn rapidly. If you are in need of mora, you should absolutely consider doing business.
I won't take up any more of your time. Thank you. This lunch was everything I was hoping for and more. I can't wait to try out everything I've learned.
See you next time. I'll look forward to hearing good news from you soon.
Okay. Sudah ditinggal.
Right then. Lunch is over. I assume you have something planned next? I'm a little concerned about the auction. I wonder how my secretarial trio is getting along.
Di sini kita pilih yang atas, oke?
Yes,
Untuk
you're
mengubah
right.
jalan ceritanya.
Whatever happens, they can handle it. In that case, what's next on the schedule?
Meeting with the informant.
Okay then. Yes, it's been some time since I last caught up with them. Let's go to Mingxing Jewelry first. I need to pick up something before meeting them.
Oke, kita ke jewelry dulu. Oke.
Hello. I'm here to collect the item I handed in for repair.
Ah, Lady Ningguang. One moment, please. I'll fetch it immediately.
Very good. Don't rush now. Please, handle it with care. Yes and no.
Apa ya
You
isinya?
probably imagine that Mingxing jewelry
di
deals
sini
exclusively in
pilih yang
expensive
atas.
luxury goods. The workers here are very skilled, so I like to come to them when I need something custom made. This time, though, I just had them do a simple repair. The item is quite ordinary. In fact, the cost of the repair was more than the item was ever worth.
Lady Ningguang, your comb has been fixed.
Comb
Please
tuh
inspect
sisir
it and
kalau nggak
see whether
salah.
you're satisfied with our work. We did everything we could to restore it to its original condition. You'll still see a few marks on there, though. This was unavoidable because of how badly damaged the item was.
That's fine. Thank you for your hard work. Yes, though it is something very precious to one of my informants. It reminds her of her mother. My informants often provide me with extremely important information. It's only fair that I endeavor to meet any requests they have in return. Trust is of far greater importance than profit in the relationship between me and my informants. It's understandable to think that way, and in the vast majority of cases, you'd be completely right. But things are a little different with these particular informants. Mora doesn't get you very far with this crowd, and this only makes me all the more excited to meet with them. Thank you for the repair, Xingqi. This is a great help.
Oh, don't mention it. It's always a pleasure, Lady Ningguang.
Let's go and meet them.
Oke, kita ketemu siapa sih? Oh, di bawah kok. Kutuk. Siapa yang mau dikasih ya, guys? Wah, bocah anjir. Informan kita anak kecil. Zizi.
Auntie Ningguang!
Auntie,
Hi, Auntie
anjir.
Ningguang!
Hello, my dears. It's been a long time, hasn't it? Yes, indeed. And they are some of my most reliable helpers and friends. I didn't want to involve them in intelligence gathering for me at first, but they, on the other hand, were so enthusiastic about the idea that I thought it couldn't hurt to try. I treated it as a little game between us. It turned out that they delivered the goods and thoroughly enjoyed themselves while they were at it. So, it was a win-win. So, fill me in. How have you all been doing?
Great! Mom and Dad have taken me on loads of cool trips recently. It's been loads of fun. But you didn't do your homework, did you? Yeah, but it's not my fault. You still gotta try. Like teacher says, Liyue Harbor is in a new age now, and we've got a really important part to play.
This new age started after that great battle, you know. Well, this is a dramatic change, unique in all of the millennia of Liyue's history. Everyone is eager to do their part and make their mark in the age of humanity. What about you, Nan? You haven't said anything yet, and you're looking a little unhappy.
I'm fine. Just don't know what to say.
Oh yeah, I just remembered. A load of really big boats came into the harbor the day before yesterday. Yeah, that's right. All the merchants were there, and it was really noisy. And then the people on the boat started unloading all these crates. There was a salty kind of fishy smell in the air. Ugh.
Oh, I see. That'll be the fishing boats coming back from the open ocean. How much cargo were they carrying? Remember, I taught you how you can tell.
Yeah, I made sure to look at the waterline, just like you said. They looked really full this time.
My goodness. Well, it sounds like they made quite a big catch. The heavier the boat, the lower the hull sits in the water. So you can tell how heavily loaded a vessel is from the height of the waterline. How deep a fully loaded vessel will sit in the water varies from ship to ship. But it's something you can tell from experience, at least for the kinds of vessels you see regularly.
Since Auntie Ningguang taught me how to do it, I can tell with just one look.
Very clever.
A few days ago, I heard some people saying that a big merchant from Fontaine is coming soon to buy luminescent spines. They said that when they get here, the price will go up a lot.
Oh, really? Who did you hear this from? Do you remember what they looked like?
No, I don't remember.
All right, never mind. So, how about what they said? Do you remember their exact words?
I don't remember that either. Sorry. Are you okay? You're usually the one that talks the most. What's gotten into you today?
It's okay. Don't be upset. Actually, I brought you a little something to cheer you up. How about that,
Makasih.
It's my comb.
Sisir.
You remembered.
Of course I did. If I make you a promise, I will always keep it.
Thank you, Auntie Ningguang. Thank you so much.
It was just a small favor, really. Nothing to get overexcited about.
But they said you'd be too busy to remember about a boring old comb.
They?
Uh-oh.
Oke, di sini kita pilih yang tidak ada jawabannya, anjir. Oke, pilih yang atas saja.
It's all right. Don't
Tidak ada
worry.
jawabannya di sini.
There just seems to be some kind of misunderstanding here.
Oke, sepertinya ada
Why
yang
don't you take this
memberikan
opportunity to
fitnah.
clear it
anjir.
up? Don't you think that'd be best?
Yeah, Auntie Ningguang's not gonna blame you. I'm sorry. I told you a lie.
Wih, kenapa
That thing
bohong?
about the luminescent spines wasn't something I heard. Two people came and told me to say it to you. I told them I didn't want to lie to Auntie Ningguang, but, they told me you'd forgotten all about the comb, and I didn't know how to argue with them. Then they bought me a new comb, and I'm sorry. I'll give them the comb back right away. No comb is better than the one you helped get fixed for me.
I know how much it means to you. It was a gift from your mom before she left Liyue Harbor, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I'll be extra careful with it from now on. When Mom gets back, she'll be so sad if she finds out I broke it.
I must say, this is most intriguing.
Ada yang
How about
mencoba
this? You tell me where those two
Ningguang, anjir.
people are, and I'll take the comb back to them for you. Sound good?
Okay.
Oh,
They're
mereka ada
over
di
at
pelabuhan,
the
guys.
docks. They said I should go and meet them when I finished the mission.
All right then. Don't worry, it'll all be fine. I'll be right back.
Are you gonna go punish the bad guys?
Now, this is a grown-up situation, okay? It's not fun and games anymore. And don't try and follow me. I'm just going to have a polite discussion with those two grown-ups about what they're allowed to do and what they're not allowed to do.
Oke. Kita ke pelabuhan sekarang. Pung pak pung 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 pak pung 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 pung. Mana anjir? Salt Waff. Salt Waff. Salt Waff itu apa, guys? Ini ya. Oh, anjir.
Do you think that kid's gonna fluff her lines? Also, let's be honest, this is a new low for us.
Yes, I know. But we didn't have any other options. Just try not to overthink it, okay?
Yang berdua
Annan's one
banyak.
of Ningguang's most trusted informants. Ningguang adores that kid. She's not gonna get all suspicious just because her story doesn't quite add up.
It sounds like you underestimated me. And the children as well.
Lady Ningguang?
You knew how important that comb was to Nan Nan, and you exploited that fact to emotionally manipulate her. You coached a child to lie, made her betray her own innocence and confuse her conscience. Do you not realize how contemptible that is?
Sorry, Lady Ningguang. We never should have crossed you like this.
That's not the point. Business is business. And at some point, we're all trying to get the better of one another. So if all you've done is fool me by feeding me false information, I'd make a loss, and that would be the end of it. But you cannot put Mora above all else. You cannot go exploiting children for profit. Do you have any idea just how much damage that will cause?
It was hardly our first choice either. We were only acting out of necessity. We've been business partners for years now. We've gotten by, I guess, but never had any opportunities to expand. When we heard about the movement in the luminescent spine market, we thought to heck with it. Let's go all in on this one. See if we don't get lucky for once. So we stocked up a huge stash of luminescent spines and watched as the price went up and up. We thought this was gonna be it. We were gonna make our fortune.
But we waited and waited, and this mystery merchant from Fontaine never came. More and more people started to suspect it was all a huge scam. Suddenly, everyone with luminescent spines was running for the exit, selling as fast as they could, but we had so much inventory that no one was willing to buy it.
Okay. Oh yeah! As soon as Lady Ningguang makes a move, everyone follows her lead, and the price takes a steep hike. If we don't sell the goods, we're both bankrupt. We're in debt up to our eyeballs. We just didn't have any other choices.
To be brutally honest, we took out a loan and made a speculative investment is not a sob story. But not everyone has the capability to make rational decisions. Greed, a lust for wealth, and impatience can all cloud your judgment. Do you now realize how dire the consequences of wild speculation can be?
100%. We've both barely slept in days. We begged people to take our stock off our hands. They laughed at us, called us idiots, thought it was all hilarious.
We messed up. Completely and catastrophically messed up. The savings we worked so hard our whole lives to build up, decimated, just like that. All we want now is a chance to start over.
Well, I can take your luminescent spines off your hands. But we will need a detailed contract. The portion of what I pay that exceeds the average price of luminescent spines in the past, you will have to pay back to me by some means in our future business dealings.
Huh? But that means
our profit is zero.
Then you're free to find another willing buyer. But if you're seriously still insisting on turning a profit under these circumstances, I'm afraid you're beyond redemption.
Lady Ningguang is right. Let's swap the goods for cash and use it to pay off our debts and be done with it. This is a lifeline and we should be grateful for it. Forget about making money.
Yes. Yes, you're right.
I have no particular need for luminescent spines. But I'm quite sure I can uncover a market for it with a little research.
Okay, so, shall we get this deal done now, or...?
No need to hurry. Our deal is hardly the urgent matter here. Atoning for your transgressions is the main order of business. You took advantage of a child, and you are coming with me to make a full and unreserved apology. This is an opportunity for you to show remorse.
Oh, okay.
Come on. Let's go back and see the children.
Okay. Bisa kita selesaikan masalahnya. Kutuk. Balik lagi ya ke tempat bocil-bocil ini. Sama pula ukurannya kayak Diona.
Everything's all sorted.
Huh? Oh, it's those two.
I'm sorry, Nana. I was lying to you when I told you that Lady Ningguang wouldn't fix your comb. I was completely in the wrong, and I promise I'll never do anything like this again. Can you find it in your heart to forgive me?
What do you think, Auntie Ningguang?
I think it should be your choice. And yours alone.
Well, since it's all sorted out now, and nothing super bad happened, I guess it's okay. But we can't just let them off. We gotta show them you don't mess with us.
That's true. I'd certainly hate to see anyone else try to con you.
I've made up my mind. I want them to come play with us.
What?
Malah jadi main.
Now we have someone to play hide and seek with. Great idea. Let's go play hide and seek at the North Wharf.
Wait a second.
Nope. No waiting. Come
So full of energy. Yes, of course.
Kita ikut.
I wouldn't feel comfortable leaving them alone with those two buffoons.
Oke. Tuh mah jadi mainan ini. Jadi mainan peta umpet anjir. Di utara, oke. Which?
Let me guess what you're thinking. You're thinking that there's not a huge difference
pilih yang
between
atas ya
me
ini.
turning these children into my informants and the actions of those two businessmen. Am I right?
You got me.
They were completely different when I first met them. They'd run away as soon as they saw me, or they'd be shaking with nerves and unable to speak.
Kita pilih yang atas ya.
But gradually, they stopped seeing me as someone to be afraid of, and started seeing me as someone they can trust. For my part, I did my utmost to fulfill the duties of a responsible adult. I played games with them, but I also taught them observation skills, analytical skills, how to think critically. I never taught business, though. Now, they're much further ahead in their studies, and far more mature than their peers.
Jadi kayak ibunya.
This has given them confidence in themselves.
Auntie,
I
bener
think that
Auntie
this is
Ningguang.
beneficial to them. Yes, perhaps I am. I never had the chance to receive a good education as a child.
Oh, dia nggak.
That's why I hope to
Berarti dulu
teach
dia
these
miskin
children
kali ya.
myself. Hopefully, I can pass on some of what I've learned. Someday they may realize that not everything is a win-win deal, that deception and one-upmanship are facts of life. But there's nothing wrong with that. When that happens, they will be ready to
Di sini
face the
kita
world
pilih yang
head-on
atas,
and
oke?
become
Terus kita
exceptional
dapat
businessmen and women.
Ending ketiga ya.
But until then, I am here to protect them.
Are you raising them to be your heirs?
I will one day die. New Chising will replace the old.
Ya udah.
And Leah will continue to
3 orang itu
prosper.
buat
I hope the name
modal
Ningguang
dia
will live
untuk
on,
cari
but not as a
penerus,
person,
guys.
as more of a symbol. If I can pass on everything I have
Emang
learned,
nggak ada niat buat
I
nikah
can
gitu?
create a legacy that will live on long after I am gone.
Come on, Auntie Ningguang! Hurry up! We're not gonna wait forever!
Coming! Come on, let's enjoy this while we can.
Anjir, ikutan petak umpet. Oke. Well, the view remains good, time flies, and the good years slip away easily. But the name Ningguang will remain a symbol for generation to come. Alright. Anjir, lama juga ya ini. Kayaknya kita baru dapat 3 loh. Iya, baru dapat 3. Kayaknya kita udah 1 jam lebih. But it's fine lah ya. Yuk, lanjut lagi. Tinggal yang keempat sama yang kelima ya di sini. Time off. Oke. Kita cek dulu yang atas. Oke. Panjang anjir Ningguang ternyata. Padahal cuma 5 loh. Oke, but yuk lanjut lagi. Ya, gue lihat dulu. Oke. Kita kemana nih berarti? Oh, jam 7 sampai jam 8. Oke. Wah, tetap. Dung ding dung dung. Dung 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 ding dung dung ding dung ding dung ding ding dung ding dung 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 dang dung dang. Oke, sudah jam 7. Yuk lanjut. Walah, suruh bangunin anjir. Suruh bangunin anjir. Sial. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Berhentinya tuh loh. Ke bawah ya, kita ke kamarnya Ningguang.
I'm here.
Yes, I'm already awake. I'll be out in a moment. I'm just changing. Good morning. Did you sleep well?
Di sini kita pilih yang atas.
That's good. I was worried you'd be a little uncomfortable. So, what's item 1 on today's schedule? I imagine this must have taken BadRush completely by surprise.
Okay,
sure. There's no harm in changing my schedule around once in a while. My schedule is usually very tightly packed, and any extra time I can squeeze out is spent on preparing for the future. So, it'll be quite nice to take a break. I don't often feel tired. Seeing the Mora come in has a way of making me feel quite invigorated. Still, your idea is very sensible. Mora can only lift a weary spirit. It cannot alleviate physical fatigue. So then, the days ahead of us. Any ideas on how to spend it?
Oke, di sini kita pilih let's do. Oke, yang bawah ya. To do. Oke.
Something I never have the opportunity to do. Interesting. Before I decide, I'd like to know, what gave you this idea? Because as far as most people are concerned,
di sini kita pilih yang
Mora
atas ya.
is the key to any and all opportunities. Yes, you're absolutely right. This is what I appreciate about you. You see things the way they are rather than how they appear. I want to do something a little
Di sini kita
self-indulgent.
pilih yang
Is that
bawah.
okay by you? Thank you. All right, here it is. I've always thought it would be fun to recapture what life was like before I joined the Liu Sing. I was born into a humble family, and all the wealth you see now began with a single haul of fish. I had to. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. Fishing isn't the half of it. You'd be amazed at some of the odd jobs I've worked in my time. A lot of the old folks like to brag about how I used to be their
Ini
errand
pilih,
runner back in the
ini pilih
day.
yang atas. It's
They
hard to
were
imitate.
tough times, but I had a clear goal and plenty of motivation. If I didn't make any money in the morning, I'd have no food for lunch. I guess that's why I came to be so obsessed with Mora. I want to relive that time from my life. Feel some of that drive again. Take a trip down memory lane. So how about it? Will you join me?
Pilih yang sure.
Great. Then let me lay down the ground rules. We're not to use our status or reputation in Liyue Harbor to our advantage, and we have no starting capital. The goal is to see how much more we can make under these conditions.
Di sini kita pilih yang atas.
Okay, but working as a day laborer could be quite dull. Why don't we go down to the docks? They periodically throw out a lot of unclaimed or abandoned goods. We might find something that we can exchange for Mora. What does it matter? Don't worry about it. It's all part of the fun. Come on, let's go down to the docks.
Oke. Waduh, mah ngapain kita? Keluar. Anjir, salah lagi loh. Kita ke dock. Oke. Pelabuhan lagi. Panjang anjir Ningguang. Lama banget loh. Lebih lama daripada Yunjin anjir. Menurut gua. Kok panjang-panjang. Dan apa namanya? Ini loh guys. Scene-nya tuh mulai dari awal tuh loh. Oke, kita sudah sampai.
Lady Ningguang, to what do I owe the honor? Are you here to inspect the goods in the warehouse? You may have to wait a moment. I must have not gotten the message. Sorry, I won't be long. I'll grab all the paperwork right away.
Calm down. No need to panic. That's not why we're here.
Oh, you're just looking for me? I haven't done anything. Have I? I mean, I don't think so. All right, the periodic clearances. Yeah, I've been handling those, strictly per the protocol. I make sure I post all the necessary notices and notify every individual that I'm required to. It used to be a huge problem, but with a bit of hard work, I've managed to reduce the amount of goods we need to clear out by at least half. It's hard to say. It really depends. Everyone has their own reasons. But as far as the warehouse is concerned, they all fall into these categories: unclaimed goods, damaged goods, or unpaid storage fees. As for the damaged ones, I guarantee you it's nothing to do with how they're stored. It's because some things go bad more easily than others. If it sits there in the warehouse for too long, it goes without saying that it could start to affect the other goods. But that aside, even the smell is just unbearable.
So, have you cleared out any of these goods recently?
I'm afraid we just finished clearing out all the big ones. But don't worry, Lady Ningguang. If you're here for an inspection, then I'm here to make it happen. Hang tight. I'll grab some of the smaller items for you right away.
Hold on. Oh.
Off he goes.
I don't think he has quite grasped the nature of this situation.
Sini kita milih. Oke, yang atas.
Lady Ningguang, I had a quick run through the list and cleared out some more items. Please, inspect them at your leisure.
Let me see here.
Di sini kita
Soggy
pilih
food,
yang atas ya.
An odd shoe, a broken mirror, small wooden toy. It's a shame we missed the last clearance. We're down to the slim pickings now. Some of these are true junk, but there are a few items of value here. Take this wooden toy, for example. The wood is good quality. If you took it apart, there's quite a number of useful everyday objects that you could turn it into. With a little work.
Can you have this stuff?
You want it? Well, sure. Take whatever you want. It's all getting thrown away anyway.
Great. This is going well. Yes. And once we're done, we will find a merchant to give us an appraisal of their value.
I have no idea what's going on here, and I'm not about to ask either.
Oke, terus kita kemana nih? Kita dapat barang bekas. Tempatnya si ini ya, si bapak berkacamata ini. Lupa gue namanya.
Lady Ningguang, welcome to my humble store. What can I get for you?
Actually, today's a little different. I'm not here to buy anything. I wanted to ask if you could take a look at some goods for me.
Just take a look? What for? Oh, I see. Let me take a look then. I mean, I can take them. I have a few regular customers I can talk to. They should be able to salvage the raw materials. It shouldn't take long at all. But,
What's wrong? If it's too much trouble, please, there's no need to force it.
No, it's nothing like that. Well, anyway, let's talk prices. So all of these together,
Anjir, banyak banget.
I'll give you 150,000 mora. How does that sound?
Kita pilih yang atas ya.
Oh, well...
No worries. The price is negotiable, of course, so we can discuss it further. If that figure's not what you had in mind, I can, bump it up a little. It'll be fine. I'm sure we can reach an agreement here.
What are your thoughts?
It's way too much.
At most, these items are only worth a couple of thousand
jadi
more.
150.000 mora.
Huh? Wait a minute. So you're really here just to sell a few things? And specifically, these things? I thought that was all code for some kind of inspection or something.
It appears so. We can't go on like this. Let's try something else. As long as we're in Liyue Harbor, this kind of misunderstanding is inevitable. If I wasn't Ningguang, Go-Sonar probably wouldn't have handed all of these over to us. And you likely wouldn't be willing to buy them either.
To be completely honest,
you're not
wrong.
Kalau aku bukan
This
Ningguang,
goes
pasti kamu
against the
gak mau
rules we
beli.
set for ourselves at the start.
Okay.
Are there any other ways for adventurers to make Mora besides their remuneration from the guild? Great. I don't mind. Let's give it a try.
Okay.
Lead
Kita
the
ajari
way.
berpetualang anjir.
You two have a good one.
Kita ajari berpetualang memulai dari nol. Oke, kita ke Willy Plans. Oke, kita cari treasure Ningguang. Start from zero.
I'm flying!
This must be the place. Let's do this.
Sikat. Bentar guys, gua mau lihat. Oh, gua lupa dia itu. Oh, the wheat seed. Biasa dong, bisa pikis ya. C3, ya kan? Oke, 88/90.
Give up.
Sketch! There is no escape!
It's nothing. Give up.
Oke. Kita buka chestnya, sudah berhasil.
It feels like it's been a long time since I've gotten so physical. The feeling of creating your wealth with your own two hands is just as exhilarating as ever. Yes, I'd say so. Everything starts out small. You focus on quantity at the outset, and gradually shift to focusing on quality as your wealth builds. And let's not forget, we started with no initial capital. It's reasonable to expect building something from nothing to be highly demanding. In any case, the sight of Mora has always had a way of improving my mood, no matter what the sum is. I intend to. I'm not ready to stop yet. This time,
kita lanjut
let's
lagi.
try something a little more challenging.
Anjir, udah ada listriknya, ada batunya pula. Oh, itu.
Fate is upon you!
Your life is mine. Don't waste my time.
Look at you, Foozhound!
It's not.
Burst forth! Witness my great undertaking!
Give up.
Submit!
Loh. Oke, beres.
Another satisfying haul. What a feeling. That's very kind of you. But I know I'm no match for a professional adventurer like yourself. For me, a battle is just a form of exercise. A way to keep fit and use up any surplus energy. Oh no, not yet. There's more Mora to be made. Hey, look! What's that hole in the ground? Oh, I see. So if we catch it, there's Mora for the taking?
Dia suka banget
how
sama Mora,
quaint.
anjir.
That was your Beto impression, was it? Well, I'm afraid I'm having far too much fun to stop what I'm doing and start bickering with you, Captain. Come on, let's go get this weasel thief.
Oke.
There it is! After it!
Yang biasa kita ini, guys. Oke, sudah kita dapetin.
Goodness, this reminds me of fishing. Not an easy catch, but we didn't let it slip away, and the haul is now ours. That's what counts. Let's see. A little over 1,000 mora. We can't do any serious business with this amount of starting capital. We need to keep working hard.
You need to take a break.
Actually, now that you mention it, I'm suddenly a little hungry. Huh. Amidst the thrill of the chase, I didn't even notice. Wangshu Inn is right there. But same thoughts here. After how hard we worked to get our hands on this mora, it would be a shame to eat it all in a single sitting. In which case, I think I'll take this opportunity to show you a skill that I used to be rather proud of.
Fishing?
Yes, but the rule of the game is no fishing rods allowed. We're going fishing by hand. Come on, let's go down to the river.
Oke. Kita mancing pakai tangan kosong tadi. Catch fish. Oke. Di sini kalau di guide-nya, kalau kalian mau dapat achievement, minimal kalian harus dapat 3 fish ya guys. Oke. Let's go.
This should be enough. Let's head back to land and grill them.
Oke, sudah beres. Nah, tuh kan. Kalian harus dapat 3 lebih ya, maksud gua. Jangan cuma 3 yang itu. Jadi 3, terus kalian cari lagi 3 gitu guys, oke?
Here, have a taste of my cooking. A fresh catch can go straight on the grill with
Jadi jangan
minimal
cuma 3
preparation
guys.
and it tastes
Kalian cari lagi
delicious,
3 lagi
even
gitu.
with no seasoning.
Jadi
It's a
total
little
6 ya.
charred. That's on purpose. I just like how it tastes. Normally, I have to make a special request to the chef if I want it to taste like this.
Kita pilih yang atas dan
I'm
ini pilihan
okay.
terakhir untuk dapetin
It was
ending
nothing.
keempat ya.
Back in the day, I had
Okay.
to hurry home after work to do my household chores. Then in the evening, it was out to the night market with the family to support our stall. I was always meticulous with the most menial of tasks. My mother always loved that about me. But by the same token, she didn't love the idea of me leaving home and starting my own business. She thought it was just an unnecessary risk when I could just carry on helping out at home instead. You'd be more likely to see me pulling
Kalau
up
dia
outside
ngikutin kata-kata
Wanmin
ibunya,
restaurant and selling
dia
grilled
nggak akan jadi
tiger
kayak
fish from
seperti
our
ini.
food carts.
Ya bukannya
My childhood
boleh
memories
melawan
run
orang tua
deep.
ya guys ya, cuman
I'll always have a
tiru
special
Ningguang.
affection
Jadi
for fish.
ketika kalian
They are
misal
confined to
tidak
the
setuju,
water, and yet
ya kalian
they live
buktikan
free,
gitu loh.
swimming around wherever the mood takes them.
Jangan cuma ngeyel tapi kalian nggak ada bukti
I
gitu
have
loh.
greatly enjoyed
Meskipun ngeyel
experiencing
tapi
the
Ningguang bisa
adventure
buktiin
lifestyle
kalau
with
sekarang dia
you.
bisa
When I
sukses
think
gitu loh.
back on all
Padahal
my
dulu
hard
ibunya
work in
kan
the past,
buat apa
it
gitu loh.
motivates me to
Sebagai
face the
cewek gitu
challenges
loh,
that lie ahead
orang-orang
in the
zaman dulu
future.
banget ya. Oke,
That sounds great.
itu yang bisa kita ambil pelajaran
I'm
di
looking
sini ya.
forward to it.
Buktikan yang
But
penting,
a
jangan
word
cuma
of
ngomong
warning.
doang, oke?
I am very picky about my grilled fish. I can be a tough lady to impress.
Alright, kita dapat satu ending lagi, Fortune Share. After a short rest, it is time once more to convert your previous efforts into future motivation. Oke, lanjut lagi. Wah gila, Ningguang ini malah lama loh guys, lama ternyata. Ini loh ceritanya banyak banget guys tuh, langsung 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 baru dapat. Di sini pisah, tambah lagi tetap 3. Di sini pisah tapi lama anjir. Ini juga lama loh. Oke, yang terakhir dari sini lagi pula. Oke, let's go. Dari Ningguang lagi anjir. Kita suruh bangunin kan jam 7 sampai jam 8. Jadi kita kesini sekalian ngatur jam. Oke, kita pilih jam 7 ya guys. Oke, pasti muter sih, jadi langsung aja daripada kelamaan, langsung jam 7 tapi yang besok. Jangan yang setelah ini kan tadi jam 1, jangan jam 7 paginya, tapi besok paginya. Pasti kayak gitu guys, nggak bisa kalau cuma 6 jam, harus 24 jam lebih aja. Oke, minimal 24 jam lah. Oke, let's go.
Yes, I'm already awake. I'll be out in a moment. I'm just changing.
Oke.
Good morning.
Last
Did you
ending.
sleep well?
Kita pilih yang kiri ya sekarang.
Oh, how strange. Me too. I'm joking, of course. I slept like a baby. Sorry to disappoint you. So, what's item 1 on today's schedule?
Kita pilih seperti biasa.
I imagine this must have taken Baisha completely by surprise. Sure,
Ada satu pilihan.
there's no harm in changing my
Lanjut
schedule
terus.
around once in a while.
Yang
My
cepat
schedule
tuh
is
menurut
usually
gua
very
Bennett,
tightly
guys.
packed,
Lumayan
and
cepet
any
ya.
extra time I can squeeze out is spent on preparing for the future. So, it'll be quite nice to take a break. I don't often feel tired.
Ini dia lama kali loh.
Seeing the Mora come in has a way
Mana
of
cuman
making me
5.
feel quite invigorated. Still, your idea is very sensible. Mora can only lift a weary spirit. It cannot alleviate physical fatigue.
Tapi nggak
So
apa-apa,
then,
berarti mungkin si pembuat
the
cerita
days
lagi
ahead
banyak
of us.
ide buat Ningguang.
Any ideas on how to spend it?
Di sini kita milih yang opportunity to. Oke, kita bawah lagi ya.
Something I never have the opportunity to do. Interesting. Before I decide, I'd like to know, what gave you this idea? Because as far as most people are
Di sini kita pilih yang
concerned,
bawah.
Mora is the key to any and all opportunities. Yes, you're absolutely right. This is what I appreciate about you. You see things the way they are rather than how they appear. I want to do something a little self-indulgent.
Di sini kita pilih
Is
yang
that okay
atas.
by you? Thank you. All right, here it is. I've always thought it would be fun to recapture what life was like before I joined the Liu Sing. I was born into a humble family, and all the wealth you see now began with a single haul of fish.
You know how to fish?
I had to. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. Fishing isn't the half of it. You'd be amazed at some of the odd jobs I've worked in my time. A lot of the old folks like to brag about how I
Di
used to be
sini
their
kita
errand
pilih yang
runner
bawah
back
ya.
in the day. They were tough times, but I had a clear goal and plenty of motivation. If I didn't make any money in the morning, I'd have no food for lunch. I guess that's why I came to be so obsessed with Mora. I want to relive that time from my life, feel some of that drive again, take a trip down memory lane. So how about it? Will you join me?
Pilih yang bawah harusnya. Oh ya, benar. Oke.
Great. Then let me lay down the ground rules. We're not to use our status or reputation in Liyue Harbor to our advantage, and we have no starting capital. The goal is to
Emang
see how
challenge
much
aja,
more we can make
challenge.
under these conditions.
Di sini kita pilih yang bawah ya.
I can see why you'd suggest that. You're thinking I could use my knowledge of how Mora works to my advantage and make a lot of money there. But Northland Bank is a special case. I rather suspect I would not be welcome there.
Oke.
Yes, and also... Never mind. I'll just show you. It won't eat up too much time. I expect they still hold a grudge against me to this day.
Masih berantem ya dengan Fatui. Let's go. Kita ke Northland Bank. Endless smoke. Next, kita ke bawah. Deng, cetong, ceteng, tong, dong, deng, 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 ceteng, deng, 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 deng. Da-da-da-da-da. Aduh, Oke, sampai. Kita masuk. Katerina. Namanya lucu aja.
Lady Ningguang, I would hope that you're not here to create further trouble for the Fatui. With all due respect, too much official pressure will risk driving our bank out of business.
There's no need to be so hostile. I'm just here to talk business. So, are you in business or not?
That depends on the proposal, and it's not my decision alone. But first, tell me, why should we believe that you really are here for business? Because if you're here to make us suffer huge losses like last time, then I'm sorry, but none of us here can afford that.
Straight to the point, I see. Works for me. Traveler, we're leaving. Let's not waste any more of our time here.
Sudah marah. Langsung keluar loh. Terus gimana dong? Tidak jadi. Sudah marah-marah. Mana Ningguang?
Do you see what I mean now? Their attitude was just as I expected. That's for sure. Although our diplomatic relations with Snezhnaya haven't broken down completely. I dealt them a rather ruthless blow with the size of the reparations payment I imposed. This sum was paid by Northland Bank, so they are still wary of me to this day. Yes, with some exceptions, but that is more or less correct. If you encounter them in any other nations during your travels, be on your guard. They are more than just a commercial organization. That's okay. My intention here was to show you some of the repercussions of that great battle. But that's quite enough politics for today. Let's get back to our fun little survival game.
Wait a second.
Now that you mentioned it, yes, we're being watched. What are they plotting this time?
Kita diikutin
My thoughts
ternyata,
exactly. But we need to be discreet. If they realize we're onto them, then we'll lose the element of surprise. Let's act natural, determine who our tail is, then lure them somewhere more deserted so we can catch them. Keep moving, just walk forward at a normal pace and don't do anything to give away that we suspect anything.
Kita sudah diikuti, guys.
Think you can bully me?
Malah ngapain anjir? Membuat proteksi. La 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 la. La 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 la. Siapa sih yang ngikutin mana sih, guys?
Okay, I think we have a few potential suspects. There's a lot of foot traffic here, but if you look closely, you'll see only a handful of people have been watching us constantly.
Di belakang kita itu ya.
I'm still not sure which of them is our tail.
Let's keep going.
Agreed.
Oh,
Whoever
ini.
it is will continue to follow us.
Oke, lanjut jalan. Oh, itu ya. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Duh, kakinya Fiona kecil anjir. Pendek jadinya. Tidak cepat jalannya.
I think we've narrowed it down a little further. But let's stay calm until we're 100% sure. It shouldn't take much longer.
Manslak snitch ke funeral parlor. Wangshang funeral parlor ini. Oh, enggak, langsung kita datengin kayaknya. Tuh di depan. Kita ikutin ya.
I think I have the answer.
Me too. Oh, ada Udah banyak ternyata.
Let's get out of his line of sight and sneak up on him. Don't get the wrong person though, or all our efforts will have been for nothing.
Mana Nich? Kayaknya yang sana deh, guys.
What's the matter?
Wrong guy. Ugh, he got away.
Kita salah, guys. Ya, seriously? Ya Allah, ulangi anjir. Ya Allah, oh, langsung bisa guys, langsung bisa diulangi kok. Anjir.
What are you doing?
Come now. Did you really think we wouldn't notice you
Gua nggak tahu juga
sneaking
sih kalau
around?
yang rambut ini, tapi gua kira
I'm not doing anything.
semuanya anjir. Oke. Kita pilih yang bawah ya.
I don't know
Gua kira
what
emang
scheme
dua-duanya.
Northland Bank
Tapi
has in
gua
the
tahu kalau
works, and
rambutnya
I
yang
don't know
kuning
what
yang
they're
tadi
paying
diliatin
you.
kan.
But
Tapi
let's
ternyata
make
yang
a
itu
deal. How cooperative you
Anjir.
are now decides how much immunity I
Ulangin
give you
deh.
when this gets investigated.
langsung apa one hit kill aja.
Or do you seriously think Northland Bank won't throw you to the wolves when push comes to shove? Why don't you weigh the pros and cons and give me a clear answer before I retract my offer?
Oke, di sini kita pilih yang bawah ya.
Sorry, Lady Ningguang. My assignment was just to follow you. I promise. That's it. When you showed up unannounced at Northland Bank, everyone
Bisa
was
gagal
instantly
gitu
on
langsung
high alert.
habis hatinya.
We figured
Nggak
you
cuma
must be
satu
up to
hati, langsung
something,
5 hati
but your brief conversation left
dihancurkan.
us none the wiser as to your intentions. We couldn't just
Untung
overlook it.
bisa diulangi
We
langsung
had
dari
to get to
sini.
the bottom of it before we could put our minds at rest.
Oke.
I know they're wary of me, but this is still an overreaction, surely. This all feels very suspicious. There must be more to this than he is letting on. I only took you there to demonstrate how tense things are. Somehow we only tested the waters, but ended up with the catch of the day. Is there anyone else following us besides you?
Yes. They would have seen this and reported back.
Tuh kan,
Then
ada
we
yang
need to
lain
get
lagi.
moving. The longer
Di
they have
sini
to
kita
react,
pilih
the
yang
fewer
atas ya.
clues they'll leave behind.
Oke,
No
itu
time.
pilihan
I'll just
terakhir
have to improvise. Keep him
untuk
with you.
dapetin
Do
ending
not
kelima
let him
ya.
slip away.
Oke, kita konfrontasi. Anjir, kalau salah di Ningguang langsung one hit kill, langsung ngulangin anjir. Oke. Ini dia endingnya. Ending terakhir akhirnya sudah beres, guys. Jepret. Mau apa kalian? Ikutin kita.
Are you saying that Ningguang hasn't done anything? Impossible. She wouldn't have shown up here out of the blue without good reason. Keep investigating. We must ascertain her intentions.
So much commotion. This must be an important meeting.
Oh, great.
It looks like I wasn't supposed to be privy to the contents of this particular meeting. This simplifies things.
So, you are here to investigate us after all. Where did you get wind of this?
That doesn't matter. What matters is that I made a brief and inconsequential visit, and your first reaction was to immediately arrange a sizable surveillance operation with myself as the target. You couldn't have advertised your guilty conscience more clearly if you'd tried. You may as well come clean. You know I will not turn a blind eye to any violation of the rules in Liyue Harbor.
Even if we cooperate with her investigation, she's bound to find problems even where there are none. Well, if you're such a stickler for the rules, you can carry out your
Resepsionis cuman
investigation
kok.
by the book. The Northland Bank has no obligation to cooperate, even with a member
Kekuasaannya
of the
gede sekali
Liyue
anjir. Bisa
Chieftain.
nyuruh-nyuruh orang anjir.
Fine by me. Then I'll take my time. But you'll be begging
Udah
to
jadi
tell me
keatasan
everything
anjir.
by the time I'm through.
Jepret. Oke, sudah kita dapat guys. Feign and riposte. No one wants to have to go up against Ningguang. Alright, sudah kita dapatkan semua ending dari Ningguang ya untuk hangout eventnya. Terus, oke, kita cek dulu apakah 5/5. So thank you guys buat yang udah nonton, like dan subscribe, yang udah share dan komen juga. Wah, ternyata Ningguang cuma 5 ending aja, lama banget. Oke, sudah kita dapetin semuanya ending 5/5. Kita lihat dari yang atas tadi. Pertama ini, bukan, sorry. Pertama ini. Ternyata ini yang paling cepat malahan yang pertama kita ya, lihat nih. Dari jaraknya sih kelihatan guys sebenarnya yang paling lama. Terus ini lama, ini juga lama. Aduh, lama semua anjir. Kayaknya keputus di sini tapi lihat. Ini masih panjang semua anjir, what the fuck. Oke, jadi kalian sabar aja ya kalau kalian melakukan hangout dengan Ningguang, but tetap seru. Dan ya itu tadi, dibuat menyesal lagi karena kita kenapa pilih cewek, harusnya kita pilih cowok. Cuman nggak apa-apa, anggaplah kita cowok. Oke. So thank you sekali lagi. Thank you juga buat yang udah share dan komen. Jadi hari ini kita akhiri dulu di sini. Seperti yang tadi gua bilang di awal, yang tadi udah gua membacot. Mungkin kalau gue udah dapet 3 lah, at least 3 world quest, baru akhirnya gue bakal ngelanjutin world quest ya. Tapi kalau belum, kita akan lanjutin hangout event lagi aja. Oke, jadi untuk besok bisa goro atau world quest. Oke, jadi sampai bertemu besok and have a good day. Gue akhiri di sini. Bye bye.